I'm Kyle on the mic, and this is Stand Out with Kyle. What's up, y'all? It is Kyle on the mic, and welcome to Stand Out with Kyle, an interview series where we sit down with dope people who have uniquely been themselves to gain success in their career. And today, we have a dope guest with us. Now, before we get started, I'm going to tell you all to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on all social medias at Stand Out with Kyle, all right? But now, let's go ahead and introduce our guest. Overall triple threat entertainer, music, acting, dancing. I mean, the guy does it all, entertain the world from the USA to the UK. I mean, this guy is a phenomenon. He's a legend in my eyes and a legend around the world. And today, he's gracing us with his presence. Please welcome Tony Award winner, the one, the only, Myles Frost. Hey!
Yes, sir.
Hey, bro, I appreciate you being here, man.
No,
First off.
I appreciate the invite.
You look good, you smell good. Now, let me tell y'all, ladies, Myles smells good now, all right? Now, it's not, the skin is popping, everything.
Thank you.
Now, before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with an icebreaker to go ahead and set the tone and vibe. So we're calling this game Moonwalk Michael Jackson version, song edition, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a few Michael Jackson songs in reverse, and you have to see if you can guess the name of the song.
All right.
All right?
Let's try.
I think we got it. All right, let's see what our first song is.
MJ Cuba, don't do me too bad. Oh, Thriller.
Thriller?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he got that with literally like 0.2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
0. Well, whatever, you got it quickly, all right? Okay, ding, 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 Thriller it is.
What we got?
Okay, all right, let's see, next song.
Wanna be starting something?
Wanna be starting something,
Yeah.
yes, okay. 2 for 2, all right. All right, next song.
What we got? PYT.
Come on! It's in the blood. It's in the blood, right?
It's in the blood.
All right, and we have one more song. We'll do one more song.
Oh, Beat It. For sure.
Beat it?
Yeah.
Beat it? Okay.
I know that guitar solo.
Come on, you know it.
Forward and back.
Okay, you know what? Let's just do one. This will be our last one. One more.
Okay.
This is my favorite one right here.
What we got? Scream.
Scream! All right. 5 for 5, 4 for 4. How many songs it was? See, it's in the blood. Okay, Myles said one thing he's gonna do, he's gonna get that right.
Oh, look, I'm scared of my MJ people. You know, they're gonna be like, you didn't know that? How did you not know that? Yeah.
Right, but besides that, we are here with you today, Myles. First of all, how you feeling? You just got back from the UK, correct?
I did, as of January. So I'm so glad to be home.
Yes.
It feels so nice to be home, man. I can't even tell you.
No, facts. And was it the Oliver Awards you were just at in London?
Yeah, the Olivier, yeah. So,
Olivier, okay.
Yeah, it was a beautiful event. You know, I actually did a takeover for the Tony Awards stage. So that was nice. You know, a little dual action.
A little dual action going on.
US, yeah.
Now, you said Tony, so it's only right just to go ahead and talk about it. Now, you made history as the youngest solo actor to win a Tony Award. Can we all clap it up for that right there, Lily? No, seriously. Seriously, the youngest to do that, making history. Like, take us to that moment when you got that award. Like, did you know, like, because sometimes I want to know, did they let you know in advance, like, hey, you're going to win, just make sure you're ready for the camera, or just like organically, like, whoo, I'm shaking my boots.
I'll tell you, actually, the press team for MJ called my mom the night before and told her that I wasn't going to win. You know, because there was, you know, the show The Strange Loop, and then, you know, it's big names like Hugh Jackman for, you know, Wolverine for those who don't know. And, you know, so they were like, yeah, you know, they're really rooting for the underdogs with this one. MJ is kind of like this mainstream show, and it's like they're trying to pit, you know, myself and Jocko Spivey, who was the lead in Strange Loop, against each other in the media. And but I mean, my attitude towards it, I was like, I don't care about that, man. Like, you know, it was hard to get like TV time or screen time for MJ because of Michael's allegations, and that's everybody wanted to talk about it and all those kind of things. It's like, no, like, let's talk about the show. Like, let's, you know. So we weren't on any daytime TV shows and late night shows. So when we got the opportunity to perform at the Tonys, that's the only thing that I was thinking about. I was like, this has to be perfect. I wouldn't even think about.
And y'all killed it. And then you went home with the gold, literally.
Yeah, that was
and you was dancing, you was doing your moves, and one thing you said is, Mama, we made it.
Mama,
literally
I
quote
made
it. Did you really believe that at that moment? Like,
absolutely.
Mama, I made it.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it was the full circle of my entire journey. You know, because my story is unheard of. You know, so prior to MJ the Musical, my only background in theater was high school.
Wow.
So I went from high school theater, left that behind, focused on becoming an actor, doing TV and film in college, got an opportunity. And when I went my first show, being a lead in a Broadway show,
Yes.
and then to win the Tony and then make history as like that type of sequence doesn't happen.
Like have you I'm getting goosebumps literally right now.
Yeah.
Like you just talking about that. Like do you understand like the success and the amazingness that you were able to accomplish? Like sometimes we're so like fast paced, everything's happening so fast, and I do this as well. Like you realize all things you've done. You're like, yeah, okay, yeah, on to the next. But I really want you like this is called Stand Out with Kyle, and you're here, not saying you're only here. You're here because you literally, to me, stand out just as beyond just being Michael Jackson musical, just as Myles Frost as the person. Yeah. So I want you to know, like, has this sinking in like all the accomplishments that we're gonna tap all into it, but I just want to, as we're starting.
No, for sure. You know, I think it has, but I don't dwell on it because I don't want to be I don't want to be content with that. I don't want to be complacent. I'm appreciative. You know, I'm grateful to have been put in that position to be able to accomplish so many things and inspire so many people. However, I don't want to feel comfortable. You know, so that's great. But what's the next thing? What is the next thing record I can break? What is the next thing I'm interested in and I can excel at? I try to always stay on that type of time. And then when I'm old and I'm ready to, I have that I don't care attitude towards everything. Once I'm there, then I can sit back and say, okay, you know what? I've lived a great life. My grandma's 92. Or she's gonna be 92 in May. And one thing she always says is, Myles, I've lived a good life. And that's what I want to say. I want to be able to look back on my life and just say I've accomplished so many things and not be like, oh, back in the old days, like, just harp on that one thing that I did way back when. I want to have a lifetime of accomplishments and a lifetime of inspiring and a lifetime of impacting people. No,
facts. And you speak about your grandma, and you've made the world proud. You've made yourself proud, your mom proud, but making her proud too by graduating from Bowie State University, my HBCU, BSU.
Come on now, BSU.
Yes.
I promised my grandma that.
And you were able to do that in the midst of everything going on, getting your college degree. And that was something she wanted you to do. You made that promise to her. How did it feel like getting that diploma and being on that stage and her being there to see you do that?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. I think as a man, my biggest thing is keeping my promises and fulfilling my promises and being a man of my word. So I think I definitely I killed two birds with one stone in that way, and saying like, Grandma, I went out, I did the thing, I excelled tremendously, higher than, at the highest level, and then also kept my promise to you and achieve academically the highest level, for me, what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, no, facts. And I think right here it's just like a full circle moment, because speaking about Bowie State University, I remember during the pandemic, I had a thing called Wake Up and Jam, and I did like live things on IG Live, just tapping in with every artist or everybody out there who was just doing amazing things, and wanted to shine light on them. Everybody was home.
Where we are now. Like,
I know, but literally, you were in Bowie Place. Oh, I appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely.
We were in Bowie Place. I was like, I reached out to you, like, Myles Frost, you interested? You like, yeah, I love this. You were in Bowie Place, literally just in your resident hall, on the piano. You came on there, you were singing, playing the piano, but you gave us a show. You could have gave me like a little, hey, then that. But you had a whole production.
Yeah.
I asked you like if there was anything you want to accomplish or anybody look up to, and you said Michael Jackson. Literally a few months later, you landed the role as Michael Jackson, MJ the Musical. The power of the tongue.
Come on now.
Come on.
A lot of people don't understand and don't realize, like, you speak what happens into your life.
Yes.
And at the very least, even if that's not what your trajectory ends up being, you're still speaking life into it. You're speaking life into yourself.
Yes.
As opposed to saying, oh, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't. It's like, even if you don't, if you shoot for the moon, like they say, if you shoot for the moon and you don't and you miss, at least you're amongst the stars.
Literally.
That's a great place to be.
No, bro, like literally a few months later, you literally went out there and landed the role for MJ in the MJ Musical. Now, did you know back then that was going to happen, or it literally was just like, how did the process come with the audition? How did it come about to make this happen? Like, how did you hear about it?
Right. So I had decided, after being in my second BET movie.
Come on, talk about it.
I was still untrained in acting, singing, dancing, everything, and just self-taught. And I was like, you know what? I want to really start to hone in on my acting chops and things of that nature. So I said, this guy named Leland Thompson was doing a 4-week intensive. It was like one session a week for 4 weeks, and it was a group of us, so it wasn't even individualized.
Okay.
And
So you really had to stand out then.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I did that. And the morning of my sister's birthday, May 27th, 2022, he calls me at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know you like that. Forget you
Calling me at 8 o'clock in the morning.
At 8. I'm not even a morning person. I'm like, what's going on? I was only up because my sister wakes everybody up super early on her birthday. You know.
Tradition. Has to happen.
Absolutely. And he was like, hey, don't, you know, this might sound a little weird, but I thought about you this morning, and I looked your name up on YouTube, and the first thing that popped up was Myles Frost doing Billie Jean. Because back in high school, when I was 16, talent show.
Shout out to Mama. She got that YouTube. Mama's in here. Mama put that out there, and you killed that.
Yeah, so, you know, I was winning all the talent shows and things of that nature, but I was like, okay, my junior year, I wanted to shake it up. I said, I want to do something iconic.
Yeah.
I did Billie Jean. Mom ends up posting that on YouTube, and not as content for like how we know content.
Yeah.
Just
Like, let's put it out there.
Yeah.
Send a link to the unlisted link to the family. Only those who had the link can view it.
Come on now.
Come on, you know how it works now.
Come on now.
You know how it works.
You know, so that's what she did. And, you know, he saw that. He was like, I have this opportunity I think you'd be great for, but can you do that, you know, but better since you're older now? And I was like, yeah. I was lying though, because I hadn't done Michael since I was 16. I was 21 at this point.
Oh, wow. So it's been some years.
Yeah, it's been some years. I ain't even
The moonwalking was the moon in that time.
Not at all. And I was like, okay, so like when did they need the audition by? And he said tonight. I said, excuse me?
Ooh.
Tonight? Like as in like today tonight? He was like, yeah. I said, what about tomorrow night? He said, yeah, I think that should be able to work. I said, okay, cool. I called my manager at the time. I was like, yo, I need a studio like yesterday. He was like, okay, I got you booked for 8 o'clock in the morning at this lady's studio. She used to be like a big dance star in Russia. And I said, okay, cool. I went to the studio. I was in the studio from 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m. I didn't even eat that day.
Wow.
I was just studying. I watched Motown 25 over 100 times.
Wow.
I tried to piece together different versions of Billie Jean that Michael had done over the years to try to create my own version so that I wasn't copying an exact version of Billie Jean to perform, because I feel like everybody was doing that, you know? I feel like it's kind of like the go-to, right? It's
yeah.
like, I'm going to choose this performance. I'm going to practice this exact performance from this date of this, you know, this year. And, you know, I did that, sent that in. They sent a script and a list of songs for me to learn. I learned that. By the end of the week, we sent everything as a package back to them.
Wow.
And then they said, hey, we'd love to get you on a train to New York for a callback. I said, okay, cool. So I go out there and...
I fucking in a movie right now. I'm over here like, yeah, what's that?
So,
come on.
So I go out there, right? And it's a 2-day process. The first day, I'm you know, learning actual Billie Jean choreography with this guy named Michael Balderrama, who is the dance supervisor for MJ.
Wow.
And it's just me and him.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. I'm learning. I was going to set my phone up. I said, you know what? Let me wait to put my phone up, you know, to record myself until I've learned the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was only about an hour. 20 minutes in, I started getting hot. I'm like, damn, why am I getting so hot? Like, and I walk up to the mirror. I look. I'm like, I'm having an allergic reaction right now.
What?
Yeah, like this is gonna be bad. Like, I can feel it.
You want to be starting something? No
Hey,
no pun intended. Now.
Come on now. I was like, I'm literally like I feel my body getting hot. I'm starting to itch. I'm like, okay, my face is turning red. I'm starting to get webs and stuff on my face. I said, I gotta leave. He's like, hey, do what you gotta do. So I left.
But see, in showbiz, that could be hard. You're like, all right, next.
I know, you know, and that's when you just gotta lean on God.
Yes.
You know, because I couldn't ignore that because my throat was closing and everything. I couldn't stay there. I couldn't.
What caused allergic reaction?
The dust in the room. Cause I didn't eat.
He said, we don't come from these dusty parts.
I was like, hey.
Miles said, we don't do no dust around here now.
I guess I'm allergic. You know, so I hadn't, like I said, I hadn't eaten anything to cause any kind of allergy. I used to have a lot of food allergies, but you know, so ran downstairs. I was like, yo, we gotta go to CVS. So went to CVS. In the store, I took 2 Benadryl and a Zyrtec, and then I ran out. I don't even know if I paid. I don't even remember.
I mean, look, he'll pay back.
It's my life right now.
You helped him out now. Pay back in love.
This life or death. Go back to the hotel, and my whole body is covered in hives from head to toe.
Wow.
Like, head to toe.
Wow.
I get in the shower, and here's the thing, right? I have eczema as well, and when my hives, you know, come, my eczema is like, oh, it's a party.
Yeah.
We all, you know, this is for everybody. So then my eczema flares up too. Here's the thing: if you take a cold shower, it's excruciatingly painful, and itch is so bad when you're in the shower, but then when you come out, it feels great. If you take a warm shower, it feels so good in the shower. But when you come out, it's gonna be way worse than it was.
Oh, so it's a lose for lose.
Right? So I took a lukewarm shower.
Lukewarm shower.
For 3 hours.
3
Yeah.
hours?
I was in the shower for 3 hours.
And that took you 3 hours to go ahead and get prepared for everything, and also prepare yourself to get yourself mentally, physically ready. Wow. So 3 must be a lucky number.
I guess so.
Come on now, but go ahead.
But this is the day before the actual audition.
Got
so
you.
2 minutes is gonna knock you out.
Yeah.
So
ZZZZ.
I got out the shower and then woke up the next day. I don't even know what my process was.
Wow.
To go into bed. I don't even remember. My body was tired too. So I wake up at like 12:30. My audition was at 2:30.
And were you with was you by yourself? Was family with you?
It was myself and my manager at the time.
Wow. So mama wasn't there.
Right, but
Okay.
she had to try to meet my manager on the New Jersey Turnpike because I was in New York. She was in Maryland.
Ooh, that's
To give him my EpiPen because I didn't have my EpiPen.
wow.
Crazy, right? I ended up not needing it, but always carry your EpiPen.
Yeah, always carry your
With
EpiPen.
it,
All
I'll
right,
carry
if
your
you audition
EpiPen.
for a movie, anything, any big
Anything.
anything can happen.
Yeah.
But it's all about how you pivot. And I
So-
think yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So I wasn't even drinking coffee at the time. I went out, got a coffee. I was like, I need to wake myself up. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, I only got 2 hours. And then I get there. Once again, just me. Don't see nobody else. I'm like, okay. Walk in the room. It's a panel of like 9, 10 people. Don't know anybody. Don't know who anybody is. And they're like, how you doing? I say, hey, my name is Myles Frost. I'll be auditioning for the role of Michael Jackson. And the director looks at me and goes, yeah, we know that.
Ooh,
I
it's
was
like
like-
real blunt, like real.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Oh, so, all right.
It's
You
good.
know, I like that. All right,
It's
cool.
getting
It's getting sticky. Like, all right. So, he said, what do you want to start with? I said, I'm cool with whatever. So, not knowing that he's a ballet extraordinaire, he says, let's start with the dance. I said, okay, cool. And my mom gave me a white fedora to practice with, which I really appreciated because they didn't have anything for me to use.
Got
so
you.
I took my little fedora. I got into my, I turned around, was getting into it. I was like, okay, I'm about to kill this. Then it dawned on me that I never practiced because I never recorded it. So I had I had to just go based off of what I learned in that 20 minutes. But I didn't get a chance to practice. So you know what? It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I breathed, turned around, did it flawlessly, didn't make no mistakes. Said perfect, right? I was just like, just please don't ask me to do it twice.
Yeah.
I can't promise I can do
You
this
said
twice.
one and done. We're good.
Right, one and done.
Uh-huh.
We moved on to the singing, moved on to the acting. And after that they said, hey, we'll be in touch. 2 weeks later, I get a request to do a Zoom meeting with the director and assistant director. And, we go over a couple scenes and see how well I take direction. And at the end of that, he was like, yeah, we want to offer you the role of MJ. Oh, and by the way, this is Broadway. Yeah, we forgot to tell you that. So that whole time, I didn't even know that I was auditioning for a Broadway show. I thought I was auditioning for another rendition of Michael Jackson, the musical.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Broadway is a whole different ball game. It's live. For all my thespians out there, all our theater majors, Broadway plays is live. It's like no.
Yeah.
We're putting you here.
Yeah.
Do your thing, brother man.
That's it. There's no redos. Like when the people that see you when you performing, and that's their experience. They can't rewatch it. They can come back.
Yeah.
They can't rewatch it. You can't rewind it.
And it's
You
Michael
can't-
Jackson.
and
Off
it's
the
Michael
pressure
Jackson.
of everybody's like, oh, can he meet the expectations? But I'm gonna go back before I talk about the first day on rehearsals and everything. Michael Jackson's son Prince, I think one he gives you flowers for making your own version
Yes.
of Michael Jackson. He said a lot of people try to, you see Las Vegas, everybody who try to exactly be like Michael Jackson. But I know, first of all, that's a flex, okay? All right? Prince, Michael Jackson's son, that Prince, I will die for you. And shout out to Prince, but Michael Jackson's son
Yeah.
give you flowers on how you literally made it your own.
Absolutely.
So what went into making that happen? Because of course you want to keep the story, you want to have the feel, because all the fans are coming, people who love MJ. I mean, this is a sold out musical, sold out Broadway play, Tony Award winning play. Come on, put it out there.
Absolutely.
But what went into like the process with rehearsal? Tell us how take us through like the process of everything, like day one, of just getting into that character or just getting into like that mode, because Broadway is different. It's a lot of training, a lot of dancing, a lot of vocal training.
Yeah.
Know how to sing, keeping your voice together. We won't tap into that, but take us through like this day one rehearsal. You wake up 8 o'clock in the morning because he probably called you at 8.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of starts before then. I made a decision of what my performance of this show was going to be, and when they, offered the role, I said, before, I know I didn't have to answer that day, but I said, before we even go any further, I said, I want you to know that if you're looking for a Michael Jackson impersonator, I'm not your guy. Like, I'm not the person. I'm not going to do that. And even though it was a huge opportunity and literally offering it to me, if it does not align with who you are and your morals, do not do it. God has something better for you. So when he said that's not what we're looking for, like, we're looking for somebody to embody this role, that was my green light to be like, okay, this is something that I can do.
And
I feel comfortable doing.
You killed it. Every single show. When I went to go see it with Bowie said we went out there to surprise you, and out there when I tell you, like, you know, when you see, like, I don't really go to a lot of Broadways like that. I mean, just haven't had a chance to go to. And like, you're like, okay, we'll see how it goes. Like, I know the guy Myles is talented. I've seen him, you know, but like, I'm got to see this live. When I tell you, and I'm not just saying this right here, bro, a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Like, the emotion, the sound, the dancing, the feeling when you walked in. I know it started off, everybody was practicing and like performing. Like in like the studio is gearing up, and you walk out and just seeing everybody scream for you. I'm just like, wow, this is someone like a representation of us. But we stayed PG County, like.
It was great. I
bro, like
energy.
amazing job, bro.
Thank
and like, was it a lot of pressure? Like, I know, cause all the A-list stars, I mean, of course it was pressure, but all the A-listers, I know some of the Jackson family. You know, you had big stars like, you know, Janet Jackson. You had Alicia Keys. You had the Carters. Beyonce and them came out.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I wish Janet came.
Oh, she wasn't able to make it?
She wasn't able to make it.
Oh, okay.
Neither was Jermaine, but I was able to meet, you know, Marlon, Tito, Jackie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I mean, there's so many icons that I've met.
I know. Beyonce came. How was that?
Beyonce, Miss Tina, that was great. She was actually not feeling well when she came and was going to leave during intermission, but was loving the show so much that she stayed.
Come on. Only Myles get Beyonce to stay on Broadway. Did you get a chance like to meet her and the family?
I did. So she left right after that. I did meet Miss Tina on multiple occasions. But yeah, you know, but she sent me a Renaissance album, a signed Renaissance album with a beautiful note saying how much she loved the show, how amazing I was and stuff like that. So I really appreciated that. Chloe and Halle, Stevie Wonder, Madonna, like you said, Alicia Keys, Marlon Wayans,
Gail, Oprah,
everybody. Like, you know, it's really been a blessing. And I think the biggest thing for me in those kind of moments is that when you do such a good job, and I say this in the most humble way, but when you do such a good job, I give you a prime example. It doesn't become your moment anymore. It's that other person's moment. When Madonna came to the show, when she came on the stage and we were, you know, to greet me and everything like that, she said, "Can I just hug you?" And I was like, "Yeah." So she hugged me and she started crying. And she said, I didn't think I'd be able to see somebody pretend to be my friend, is what she said. And she said, but this wasn't that. Like, this felt so real. And, you know, in that moment, being a recipient of that, I'm like, I'm supposed to be
fangirling over you. You're Madonna.
Oh my God, like, it's Madonna. You know, but when a show touches you like that, you know, it becomes that person's moment to release that. And it was the same with Alicia Keys. I had the biggest crush on Alicia Keys since I was, you know.
Had your braids in like Alicia right there now, looking like her back in the day now.
Come on now, you know, so.
You know her name.
When I met her, forwards and backwards. When I, you know, and I'm like, why you bring Swiss? Like, like,
it's our moment, Alicia.
Our moment. He's like, how you doing?
Like, move, man, move. But yeah, Alicia Keys, how was that? You know, you do piano, she does piano, she's at the Broadway musical as well, but yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, you know, so this was, you know, around the time where she was, you know, gearing up to, you know, do Hell's Kitchen, which ended up winning a Tony Award as well. And you know, it was kind of like the same thing. She was like, wow, like, I don't even know what words to say. Like, I'm just so inspired by the performance and I was like, you know, thank you. I told her I was gonna tell her I had a crush on her.
Let me let you know right now. I'm gonna let this moment stand out. Let you know, girl, I love you. I knew your name. You could have called me at the diner. Right? I'm gonna answer the phone.
You know, can I speak to Myles? You know,
yes.
I'm waiting on the remix still.
Come on, manifest it now.
But yeah, you know, it was kind of the same thing. I didn't really feel like I could express myself as fully as I wanted to because she was having her own moment. I was kind of fathoming everything that happened with the show. And when you spoke about Prince, you know, Prince came to one of the previews that we had. Because, you know, with Broadway shows, for those who don't know, Broadway shows go through a preview period.
And Prince, Michael Jackson's son, want to reiterate that.
It goes through a preview period before the actual opening. So there's the opening of previews where you can come and see the show, but it's subject to change. Like you might come one day and see one part of a performance, and you may come another day and this part that you saw the other time is gone. It's not frozen. It's not what we call a frozen show. And he came during one of those shows, and you know, that was the first time he saw it, and you know, was giving his input. And we sat down afterwards, and he was like, I just want to just say thank you for not trying to impersonate my father. Like you make it your own. And I really appreciate that. And I appreciated that coming from him for the simple fact that, mind you, at this point, I met Rich and Tone Talawega, which I'll get into, who taught me everything I know.
Legend,
Michael.
right there. I'm about to say, woo!
Legends, you know? But yeah, so that was a big moment for me, you know, to hear that. It was confirmation that I was moving in the right direction, and I was trusting myself as an actor because I was still very new to having acting lessons. So I was very just going off of what I felt and what naturally came to me. So, yeah.
And acting, I mean, obviously killing on Broadway, and we could talk about this for like decades because I mean the experience is amazing. But you know, as an actor, you also was able to do the big screen with Ava DuVernay with Origin.
Yes.
Playing Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
You know, I was able to do the sit down when you did your screening at Magic Johnson Theater right here at your home. And see you on there is how you portrayed the scene of when Trayvon Martin passed away, when he was killed by George Zimmerman. I know you talked about it like Ava DuVernay, she gave you a picture or gave you the audio of when it happened, and she had you sit on it to prepare for the scene. Can you talk to us about just the process of just getting into character, reenacting that moment, and how it just, you know, how you felt with it, and also speaking with, you know, Trayvon Martin's parents, you know, and talking with, you know, different people just to get into character for that scene?
Yeah, no, absolutely. She gave me both. So I had the audio recordings well in advance. So I was listening, and then you hear all the 911 calls. You know, you hear "He who shall not be named" call to the police about, you know, what he was experiencing, or like what he was describing that Trayvon was doing. And you know, you hear gunshots, you hear, you know, you hear everything. You really put yourself like you're a neighbor in the neighborhood, and you're, you know, you own a house there, and you're just kind of listening to the commotion. It makes you feel like that. And on the day of filming that particular part, you know, she came over and she said, look, I'm gonna give you something, and I want you to sit with it for as long as you want to. Don't worry about cameras, don't worry about time schedules, just you take as long as you need. And it was his death picture. It was the picture that the officer that showed up on the scene took with his phone. They didn't do it professionally, they didn't cover his body, they didn't do none of that. She did him actually very disrespectfully. And took a picture, and that's the picture I looked at. And it made me realize that I am responsible for depicting on his behalf his last moments. What his face looked like, how scared he was, how scared he wasn't, how he fought, did he fight back hard, I'm responsible for all of that. And I think the weight of that was a lot heavier than MJ by a long shot.
For sure.
You know, so I really wanted to be as respectful and, you know, as I could. And, you know, I didn't get a chance to really have full in-depth conversations with the family, but her and Ava, because it's touchy.
Yeah, it is, for
sure. You know,
sure.
and I respected it, and however comfortable they were, I was going to meet them where they were.
For sure.
But them and Ava were very, very close and talked all the time and made sure it was right. So I got everything vicariously through Ava, as far as, you know, direction on who he was, and, you know, kind of I did my own research. I read up on him and everything. You know, I support the page, you know, all the pages that have to do with him.
Yeah.
You know, his birthday and like all of that. Even to this day, still very much up on that. But yeah, no, it was incredible.
No, and you did an outstanding job. Now, my EP, Jada, she has a cinema club, and we actually, a few of us in here all went to go see the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it again. We all saw it again at cinema club. That's her right there. Hey, Jada.
Oh, wow.
A few of us went, and we actually went as a cinema club. We sat down, talked about it, analyzed the movie and everything.
Absolutely.
And it was just cool. Like that's my bro up there doing his job. I'm in the movie like I'm over here like crying a little bit. Like, ooh, I forgot it was Myles. You did so great, but I'm like, you did an amazing job. So, besides, you know, Michael Jackson, besides Trayvon Martin, I know sometimes like there needs to be a balance. Sometimes it can be hard because some people always just look at you and just think, Michael, and it's like, no, I'm Myles.
Always.
Not MJ, but MF. Mother effing Myles. How about that?
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna talk about you real quick. You know, talk to us. You have music, all right? Now, Rubber Bridge. Talk about that. You was dancing in the rain, the water was falling. I said, all right now. I said, all right, look, you was in that shower. Go ahead, while you had that moment. Talk to us about your music. Talk to us about, tapping into more of who Myles Frost is.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking my time with it because I want to make sure it's a true representation of who I am and where I am in my life right now. I think Rubber Bridge was a great intro to that and what that music is going to sound like, within that realm. And I want to bridge the gap. I want to find a balance between the old, the old stuff, the nostalgic stuff that we love listening to. Regardless of how early you want to go back. Like to early Usher, like early Omarion, like.
And you can do it. You can do it.
And merging that with what that TikTok sound that captures everybody's attention because it feels like we're in a race, between do we want people's attention span? Do we want to capture people's attention, which is very, it's a short window. People always, it used to be first 10 seconds, now it's first 5.
Yes.
It's
like back to Vine.
Which is a crazy jump. Or do you want to say, I don't care about that, I'm going for quality. I'm trying to find what that balance is. Because I believe it's out there somewhere. I believe it exists. I just think a lot of it is just being patient.
No, and I love right now, you taking a break from Broadway. You're tapping into you, and I love that. You got now you're looking like Myles Frost. You got the grill in. You got a grill. He got his neck tat right there. Let him see. What does the neck tat say?
So it says with love. So it was to commemorate my time with MJ. I didn't want like a bold Michael Jackson's face on my neck. That's weird. But I did want something that was subtle that if Michael would always say with love, with love, like whether he was giving a note or whether he was saying thank you or whatever it was, he always did it with love. So that's why I got that tattoo.
And your style. I know you were inspired by like 70s fashion. I know that's something that Myles actually likes. But I mean, of course, when it comes to Michael Jackson, 70s, 80s, some people are like, oh, he's dressing just like Michael Jackson. But it's like, I know that you actually have interest in like, older fashion. That is actually who you are as Myles Frost. That sometimes can get overshadowed by who you play, but who you played. But talk about your style. I like it. I like the style. You got the nice chain. You got the watch. You got the nice, I like the Tim's on. He's still in New York with it now. But talk about your fashion. And something that can be hard because like they're always looking at you as.
That was hard for me because I'm like, it felt like it wasn't fair. Cause I'm like, no, like I like dressing like this. I love the sparkly. I love the this. I love shining.
You put it on now.
What I'm saying? I appreciate it. I'm like, I love looking like a character. But it's still making sense. Everybody would always say, oh, like you dress like if Michael stayed off the wall, Michael, but continued to dress the way he was.
It's like okay,
I'm like, okay, you're
gassing it.
All
right, now this is still giving 2025,
but
a little 80.
I see where they're coming from, and I'm like, what you got to understand is that people are going to think what the people want to think unless you change the narrative. So I can't keep dressing the same way thinking that they're going to change their perspective. They're going to continue to see it like Michael. So I'm like, what is a way that I can merge it and come across strictly and solely as Myles, So I like the, the look with the tie and everything like that, with the Timbs, with the grills, like, I'm putting all of the different aspects of who I am together and molding it into something that I really feel comfortable in. I feel comfortable when I wear it, I feel comfortable when I rock it. And speaking of, I'm coming out with a
clothing line.
Come
on now, so talk about the clothing line real quick.
So it's a luxury sweatsuit line. Satin hood, obviously, coming out with satin line beanies as well. Fuzzy socks. I got the whole. I got the whole nine.
I love that. We talked about that at the CLAA, but you killed by performing.
Thank you.
You definitely did your thing there at the CLAA, and you definitely had some. I said I like the fashion. You said stay tuned. So we're hearing it first right here.
You're hearing it first.
Oh, exclusive! Let's stand out exclusive.
Thank you.
Yes.
So it's the feel is it's like velour.
Okay.
So velour.
So I feel it. You just moving with it. I felt the velour.
You can imagine it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, fuzzy socks. Who doesn't love fuzzy socks?
Right.
I love it. And I want you to feel comfortable, but fashionable at the same time, while also protecting your hair. Especially our hair. We gotta protect it.
Facts.
And I won't wear a hat. In the cold. Because I want to protect my braids. You know what I'm saying? Like or my afro, or like whatever I'm wearing.
My natural style. And you speak about hats, and I'm saying like we've been going through this whole interview. There's so many hats you wear, like entertainer, actor, entrepreneur, clothing designer. Even like tell us more about Frost Entertainment LLC, like your own LLC. Like we got any things in the works, like you coming up with
First
that?
of all, if you have a business. Get an LLC.
Okay. Give us
Or
some
an,
gems.
or an S corp, whichever one makes the most sense. Get a business. You can write everything.
Come on.
In this economy, listen to what I'm saying. You can write everything off. Everything through your business. If you want to buy a car by itself, it's not an asset. Okay? But it can become one if you buy it through your business, because then it becomes a tax write-off. Becomes the company car.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying?
And they help you. Give me my money.
Give you what? You see what I'm saying?
No, facts.
If you're gonna buy a business, get a line of credit. Don't use your own money. Use a line of credit to buy the business and use the business to pay the loan back.
See, he's giving us them industry tips right there. Shout out to Mama too. I know she helped out.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power. That's the biggest thing that I've learned throughout my whole career. I know I'm kind of going off subject, but
no, you're fine.
That's the biggest thing that I've learned with anything that I've done. With everything that I've done up until this point, is that knowledge is power, and learning how the business works, especially in this economy. I'm telling you, you got to know where your money's going, how it's flowing, and how the rich and the wealthy are staying there, and how it's so hard for the middle class to get there. You got to change your financial habits, and you got to think about things differently.
Got you. And
stop using your own money.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. That's the key.
Get your credit up.
Get your credit up, because credit makes the world go round.
Yes.
But before we go ahead and end, I know one key thing I always want to touch on, especially with so many things you've done, is mental health. I know there's 7 principles you go by that you usually say. Can you let us know those 7 principles?
Got them on my phone. You got my phone?
Yeah, get the 7 principles real quick. There's 7 principles that Myles makes sure he stays, like his affirmations. Now,
absolutely.
So the 7 principles. And, also I want to lead into that, how do you keep yourself, and what's some advice to keep yourself mentally sane when you're in this big level of life?
Yeah, the way I keep myself sane is always remembering who I am, which goes back to the first thing that I said to my director is, I know who I am coming into this, and it's up to you as to whether or not you want to accept that. Like Torbay, he's a rapper, he has a thing where he brings his family everywhere, and if his family can't go, he can't go. You have to have things in your life that are unchangeable, regardless of what the opportunity is, who the person is. They have to be so unchangeable in your life, because those are the things that define who you are. Yeah. So to speak on those codes that I have, so number 1 is put her first. Number 2 is no excuses, don't make them, don't give them, and don't accept them. Number 3 is always tell the truth, which is hard for a lot of people, but I'm telling you, it makes life so much easier in every aspect. And it's not your responsibility to be responsible for how somebody takes the truth. You have to be responsible for you giving it.
Facts.
Number 4 is your word is your bond. If you give it, you must keep it. Everything that you do and say has a meaning to it. Number 5, what people think about me is none of my business.
Preach. Preach.
What people think about me is none of my business.
That's just not my problem. Come on.
You
don't get me started. Don't get me started. Go ahead. Keep going.
Number 6, my yes is my yes, and my no is my no, and I don't have to explain either one. I'm a chronic over-explainer.
Me too.
Because I just feel like like it's okay to just say no. But why? Just no. And just leave it there. And then number 7, get off the cross, because we could use the wood. Jesus did that for us already.
Yes. Facts, Myles. Appreciate you. I'm glad you said yes to this.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you so much for taking the time out being here. For Stand Up with Kyle. You authentically been yourself since day one. You have people who are definitely poured into you. You're pouring into other people. That's how we grow, pouring into each other. You've been killing it, making history. Tony Awards, Grammy Awards, EGOT, we're manifesting it right here.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about the clothing line. Let me know when you got some stuff. I'll definitely rock it.
I got you.
I'm excited for more music. I'm excited for films and more amazing things that you have going on.
Thank you,
Everyone,
man.
please
Thank you.
give it up for Myles Frost. Let us know where they can follow you at on social medias.
Absolutely. First of all, I want to give you your flowers as well.
Appreciate it.
This is a huge accomplishment. I'm super
Appreciate
proud of
it,
you for continuing to move forward and doing your thing.
Thank you.
And continuing to grow your empire. You know what I'm saying? And never giving up on that, and continuing to be the positive person and the positive role model that you are and will always, I'm sure, continue to be.
I appreciate that.
I'm super proud of you, brother.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. So again, Myles Frost, let them know where they can follow you on socials.
Sure. You can follow me everywhere at Myles Frost, myles.frost on Instagram, YouTube, all that. And TikTok as well. I'm not really on Twitter these much these days.
Yeah, Twitter's all right. But you be on TikTok, you be having fun on there.
Oh yeah, I be having fun on there.
You
That's
be
like
standing
my
out.
personality.
Yeah, so follow him on there. Keep up with him as well. He is standing out always, and huge success for you, man. Proud of you. And thanks so much. Again, this is Kyle on the mic, and you are tuned in right now to Stand Up with Kyle. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also follow us on all social medias at Stand Up with Kyle. Myles Frost, I appreciate you, man. Keep killing it, Brody.
Thank you. You too,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
All right.